Well, good morning everybody. We're here at Harry Edwards Healing Sanctuary today for the celebrations of the 75th year since Harry bought Borough's leave back in 1946. And we're here in the rose garden and we're shortly going to go into the marquee to join everybody. But Mick is now just putting some fish into the pond this morning. Off you go, Mick. Oh, there they are. Some lovely new fish. They've been climatised this morning. They've been in the bags of water here in the pond. And we'll be coming back here later because Mick and Stella are going to officially open the refurbished pond. So we'll just allow the fish a few hours to get used to their new home. So Mick has done all the work that you can see here, all the refurbishment of the pond, the new slabs, and then later on I'll show you the fountain and our fishing buoy and everything, but I'll keep that until we officially open the pond later this morning. There we are, we'll let them settle into their new home. Thanks Mick, see you later on. So let's just wander around now up into the marquee. In a couple of minutes we will be officially opening.
Pardon?
Okay, so we'll come on round. So here we are in the entrance to the marquee. Very good symbol. And here is Harry Edwards Remembers. I will show you around all of this later on in a bit more detail. But here in the marquee we are gathered to celebrate the 75th anniversary. This is all very active today.
Sweetheart.
You might see a few faces Martin, Harry.
These are back sets of back copies down to about 2012. So they're all in order, but you just need to agree.
So for those of you who are going to this morning, I'll be able to bring you the celebrations for the Borough's League. Quite a good gathering. I must admit I don't know who's at the end.
Good afternoon. Morning.
George keeps going on the Sunday morning. So at the moment we're still gathering the refreshments. Beautiful view from here at Sanctuary. Cherry Tree Walk, the very famous walk, is just the other side of that hedge. And you've seen Gary on his healing minute of a morning walking along Cherry Tree Walk, showing you all that lovely view. At the moment the weather is holding, grey skies, but we're hoping to see some sunshine later. But,
You have a coffee, darling.
Yeah. I can pour it down the microphone so everybody can share it with me.
I just borrow one of
just that we had it up. Mary Edwards and his family. Beautifully displayed here today. Some of these photos haven't been seen by many people for many years.
What, you haven't seen them for many years?
I'm just showing them. We have a lot of followers on Facebook now. And nice to show them out. One from the Royal Festival Hall. Those were the days. Harry Edwards, all his healing colleagues demonstrating at the Royal Festival Hall in London. What a day that was. And it wasn't just a one-off. There we are in the chapel with Harry Edwards. Ray Branch, Joan Branch, who did the healing for a young girl. Of course, for many years, George and Olive Curtin worked with Harry Edwards, as did Ray and Joan Branch. Vincent Hill also Vince was obviously many years to go. He has some wonderful memories of living here in Queensland.
I'm Rowena.
Can anybody say where Martin and Alison are?
I saw Martin
They were both
a while ago and he was heading out. And who else were you looking for?
Alison and Martin, just the two
I haven't seen Alison at all.
I would love it, but I already have a cat, a dog, and 3 boys. I'm just like,
You might know somebody, you know.
Hopefully, during the morning things will flow a little bit more smoothly than they are just at the moment. You just see the tops of the cherry trees there. I'm not climbing over the fence to show you at the moment, but I will take you for a walk, a long cherry tree walk later on. Lovely lady, lovely child. come and see you later on.
Okay.
Lovely. We'll see you later,
Would
darling.
you like to go there?
Yeah.
I have no idea about this. I have no idea.
Almost. Are you recording now? Anytime soon. Watch the space. I'm just waiting for the chairman to arrive. I've misplaced him.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could take your seats, please, we'll be starting in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could take your seats, we'll be starting in a minute.
morning to everybody. Thank you so much for coming along this morning to help us celebrate the 75th anniversary of healing at Burrows-Lee. Now hopefully we won't have any fire experiences today or any fire alarms go off, but in the event that we do, the meeting point is at the front of the sanctuary by the front door, but hopefully we're going to have quite a nice calm day. The toilets are basically out through the back doors, straight ahead through towards the chapel, turn left, then turn right, and we've got ladies and gents toilets there. We've also got tea and coffee station at the front here, and a pay bar towards the back of the marquee there. So today, our 75th anniversary, is a day that we celebrate Mr. Harry Edwards. And our talks today include people who knew Harry when he was in physical form, alive here, but also we're going to hear from people who want to talk about what Harry means to them to this day. It's a celebration of Mr. Harry Edwards and of healing continuing at Burrows-Lee for 75 years and going forward as well. Before I hand over to Martin Thomas, our chair, I would like to say a huge thank you to all the staff and volunteers who've helped pull today's event together. I think they've done an absolutely stunning job. While you are here today, do have a look at the stunning board of photographs at the back of the room that chart Harry's life. It's a stunning piece of work, and I'd like to give particular thanks to Rowena, Gina and Penny for putting this together. This afternoon as well, we're in for a treat of being able to watch some film of Harry Edwards in the chapel, and I would like to thank Rowena, Penny and her husband Tony for putting all that together. I was privileged to watch a preview about 10 days ago, and it was very moving to actually see Harry being interviewed and to see these tapes. So you are in for an absolute treat later on today. I've left programmes on the tables. There are also a batch of programmes at the back if you want to follow what we are doing moment by moment. We are also going to be celebrating the refurbishment of our pond, which happened this summer. And we're also going to be dedicating a rose to Phyllis, Harry's wife, as well. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Martin.
Thank you very much, Alison. Thank you everybody for coming and welcome. I'm Martin Thomas, I'm the chair of the trustees, and it's a pleasure to be here. I've been asked to say a few words just to open the day. When I first started work, one of the senior gentlemen I worked with called me aside and said, I got some tips for you about how to perform in meetings, and I was all ears, my pen pad, was all ready to take down some gems, and he said, basically, you want to get a seat with a good view out the window, because some people really do drone on. So with that in mind, I will be as brief as I can, and Alison is going to give me the special signal if I start to drone on beyond my time allocation. So, as Alison said, we're here today to celebrate 75 years of the sanctuary being in this absolutely beautiful spot. I mean, it is world class, isn't it? And every single time I come down here, and I imagine for you too, you just are in awe of that beautiful view. So, what a perfect place for a healing sanctuary, and thank you, Harry Edwards, for choosing this spot. It is, how many years? 75 years then since Harry Edwards and his families clubbed together their assets, selling their houses in South London, combining their assets to buy this house, and Harry Edwards lived here for the rest of his life, for 30 years until he passed in 1976. Several members of Harry Edwards' family are with us today, quite a few, and we welcome you all, but especially we would like to welcome Mrs. Felicity Medland, who this very morning has made the long journey from the Isle of Wight. So thank you, Felicity, so much for coming and joining us today. It really is an honour. Thank you. I hope you feel that we've looked after the sanctuary well since you were last here. Okay, so several of our speakers on the agenda are going to be talking about times past, their experiences of living and working here. So I thought it would probably be most appropriate if I talked about the future and what we're going to be doing from here in, because we do have a lot of exciting plans. Let's see where we are. In thinking about the future, I firstly reflected on, what if Harry Edwards was with us here today and able to talk, well, he probably is, if he was able to talk directly to us, what would he say and what would his reflections be? And, I had to come to the conclusion that he probably would be disappointed at the limited progress that's been made by the spiritual healing movement generally in becoming accepted by the general population and in particular by the medical profession. Harry Edwards was very enthusiastic and wrote very enthusiastically and optimistically about his hopes for the two sort of therapies, if you like, two philosophies working hand in glove in the future. And here we are, quite a long time after his passing, with that still very much an ambition rather than a reality. But there are, signs and hopes that things will change, and we are really energetic and enthusiastic about putting our energies with a new, refreshed focus on engaging with the external world in a new and different way from the way we have in the past, and in particular trying to engage with the health sector generally, but obviously eventually focusing down and becoming more accepted by those who are working in the conventional medical profession, so that people who are ill benefit from both therapies, conventional medicine and all that good stuff's got to offer. I mean, if you fall down and break your arm, you don't rush off to a spiritual healer, do you? You go to the hospital and get your arm cast. Conversely, if you've got a more subtle condition, or if you're perhaps finding it slow to recover from your broken arm, that perhaps is the time where a spiritual healer could possibly offer more help than a conventional therapist. So the two working together, Harry Edwards was right, and that is the goal that we're aiming towards. And we're we've taken a step back, if you like, and have refocused our energies on this sort of area. We've obviously, with all that's happening on the IT front and all the opportunities that social media is offering, was something that we didn't want to miss. So we're very much embracing all of that, and are finding that not just during COVID but going forward, we are able to bring our work and our message, without wishing to sound sort of evangelical, what we stand for, to a new audience of people that are unable to physically travel to the sanctuary and benefit from what we have to offer. We can present that message now to the whole world, and evidence for what we can do and achieve is now available to everybody, almost everybody in the world. It's out there. We've got healings on YouTube. We're doing presentations. Our Healing Minute is presented, has been every day at 10 o'clock on Facebook. So we're using all of the opportunities to get the message out, and we think we are reaching not just the converts, which is I guess most of us here today, but reaching a new audience, which is really what our charity is about. We want to be spreading the word so that more people can benefit from what we know is something God-given and something special that will really help you to more quickly recover from whatever illness you've got. So how tragic that so many of the population, you know, have not benefited from that in the past. So if ever there was a motivation, you know, a need to kind of an urgency about our work, just a reflection on the way the world is enough to kind of give us that energy. So we've been in this process of reflecting and thinking and trying to re-establish our priorities here at the sanctuary without any radical changes, just as kind of adjusting our direction, a bit like a pilot in a cockpit of a plane. You know, they say that the one thing a pilot always knows is that he's not on the right course, and all he does, of course, is to find out how far he is off his course and then just adjust it back, and then a few minutes later he does the same. So we're kind of in that process, having taken a look further ahead and said, okay, where do we want to be? What is our real mission? Why do we exist? What's our primary purpose? And then to come back to today and say, right, what do we do today that is different from what we were going to do, that takes us onto that, towards more closely onto our objective. So part of that has been a recognition that we might need to let go of some of the activities that we've done here in the past and which we've been very successful at and which we've enjoyed doing, but which are not directly supportive of healing. So we may have to sort of let go of some of those, and with that, the resources that are freed up, to apply them to activities that directly do relate to healing. Not necessarily, you know, exclusively hands-on healing and distant healing, but healing in the broader sense, which we would like to expand here. We find that our retreats are very successful, we get terrific feedback, they're always booked out. So that's one of the areas where we would like to expand the number of places that we offer. And of course we can't do everything, so we've had to, as I say, sort of let go of some of the things we've done in the past. So you'll probably see a little bit of a change of emphasis, and hopefully more opportunities to come here and to participate in whatever aspects of our offering that particularly appeal to yourself. You know, we do workshops, lectures, you know, as well as the retreats and the healing. So we want to expand all of that, and we want to bring it to a new audience. We've reorganised our staff, or we've adjusted our organisational structure to enable us to focus more of our resources on sort of marketing and publicity, because we recognise that in the past we haven't perhaps done as much in that area as we could do, and we're often told that, you know, even people that live down the hill in the village are not, either don't know about the sanctuary or don't really know what we do. So, you know, the fact that the sanctuary has been here for so long, that's really a bit of a failure. So we want to make sure that we're starting in our own backyard, and that we're making sure that the local region, the local area, Surrey, Guildford, and then expanding it out, know what we do and have an opportunity to come here. So Alison has taken up the mantle, and she'll be leading, and is leading, that sort of marketing, publicity, that new external focus. So rather than being a little bit passive as we might have been in the past and waiting for people to come to us, we're now stepping out into the world. We're taking the message out there, not in an evangelical or sort of aggressive way. I do stress that. Very much respectful of people's beliefs and preferences, but at least letting people know what we do. And it's been a real pleasure as part of that sort of external step forward for us to be refreshing our relationships with, firstly and foremostly really, with organisations that are in the same sort of boat as ourselves, offering the sort of service that we do. Very much starting with the Healing Trust, the NFSH, as they used to be. And Jennifer Jones, the chair of the Healing Trust, is with us today, and she'll be saying a few words to you later on. So it's an absolute pleasure to be linking up with these organisations, that, you know, our sister, our peer group organisations, not in any way in which we will lose our own identity at all, but just the process of recognising that we have similar objectives, and that in many areas we might be able to do more together than we can do separately. So that's kind of our ambition there. There are lots and lots of organisations that are in this sort of health sector, even many that do similar work to ourselves, a lot of them are much smaller and you may not have heard of them, and a lot of them are also quite local. But we want to link with them, but we also want to link with the professional organisations, the companies, the businesses that are also in the health sector, but are doing work that might, where there might be synergy with ourselves. And they may be interested in sponsoring us, they might be interested in seeing what we do and basically engaging with the health sector in a more active way than we've done in the past. So who knows what? I did see on a website recently there was a company locally, I think they were on the Chamber of Commerce website actually, Alison, and they make and market these TEMS machines that are very good for controlling pain. You probably have heard of them. Now, I didn't know, but they're quite local. And you think, that's a business, they're close to us, and they're providing healing, of a sense, to people who are ill, or probably who are recovering from some kind of trauma or broken bones. And it just occurred to me that maybe there is that would be worth a phone call, just saying, we're just down the road, this is what we do, are you interested in what we do, and perhaps you'd like us to demonstrate what we do. Who knows? There are thousands of companies out there that we might benefit from connecting with. So a lot of opportunity, and we'll see. Maybe nothing will come of it, maybe something will. But we're in a position now where we are trying to engage and get the conversations going. We're not going to lose sight of our core activity, that is contact healing and distant healing. And really, we're very much hoping that the changes that we are working on at the moment, and which we are in implementation, will translate into increased contact healing numbers and increased numbers of people writing to us for distant healing, because that is the acid test. At the end of the day, we want to see more people coming here for our basic and core service, and many of you are involved in providing that as healers and supporters, and we are very, very grateful, and we keep saying it to you for all your help and support. Literally, we couldn't deliver our healing without you. Okay, so Alison's about to stand up, which I think is the signal that I need to stop chatting. Thank you very much for coming today. Let's just see if I've got any final thoughts. Yes, I mean, I've been a little bit somber for a couple of minutes there. Let's not forget that today is a day of celebration. It's a day of joy. It's a day of perhaps of healing. So please embrace it. It's lovely to be able to socialise and meet you face to face, especially after so long. A real pleasure. I look forward to chatting to you personally during the course of the day. Just before I go and relinquish the microphone, it's the old what's that? What are those? Karaoke. It's I got karaoke syndrome now. You know when you get the microphone and you don't really want it, and then after a couple of songs, nobody's going to get this microphone off me. That was the way. What are you joking? Can I just say that we've got some copies of Harry Edwards' healing book, The Guide to the Understanding and Practice of Healing, on the back table together. Thank you. Together with some back copies of the Healer magazine. The books didn't quite cut the mustard when they came back from the printers, so rather than have them destroyed, we decided to give them away. So they're all free, so do help yourself to them, either for your own use or perhaps for you to pass on to people who might be interested. We'll put a tray there for you to stick your very large notes in as a donation if you wish to. So yes, the magazines go back to about 2012. It's about 20 in a set, so it is interesting. A lot of the articles in there have been used on the Healing Minute, and people have found them quite interesting. Thank you ever so much. I love to finish by saying, if you have been, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Martin, for a wonderful opening talk.
Okay,
I
I'm
can't
going to
sing,
come
so
off
please
now
don't
with this
ask me.
broadcast, and I'll be back up again in a few minutes with another one. Thank you for being with us. See you later.